It's Conduit News Radio with Paul Harrell.
So, folks, we've got Dragan. He is the guy. Were you actually officially the first medical marijuana dispensary to open?
We should have been. The doctor's orders had advertised that they were opening on the 15th,
Okay.
and we advertised that we would open that Monday, the 13th, and so somehow they kind of jumped the gun and opened a couple days before we did, probably to get the publicity. But
They did that. Well,
yeah,
everybody said you were the first. Anyway,
Right.
I talked about yours was the first. I saw long lines, but anyway. Now listen, folks, we're going to have okay. So. Is this this is what you want me to look at right now?
No.
Oh, this. Okay. So, but he's not going to, you're going to let me know when we're back on. Okay. So, yeah. So we will, then I'm asking you a few things now. Once the radio stations come back and join us, I'm going to re-ask and we're going to welcome back and everything. But so for the folks that are out there, we're going to talk about this. I guess this is what this is what the marijuana comes in. People are going to get, no, there's a big one and a little one.
Well, we've got different sizes. The Medical Marijuana Commission mandated that it be in a certain package. For instance, this is what we use. I think other places may use jars or something like that, glass jars, but it has to be child-proof. So it's kind of pretty much just like a pill bottle.
Okay, interesting.
And the one size is about 3.5 grams, if you're kind of wondering the size. And the larger one holds about 14 grams or half an ounce of medical marijuana.
This is Holy Roller. What does that mean?
That's the strain name.
Okay. Okay. So we've got different names. Like, does that have anything to do with strength and THC?
So the lab tests do tell us the different strengths of THC, the amount of cannabinoids. We currently have about 10 strains that are supplied by the Bold Group, which is the only cultivation group that is producing product right now. We'll have another one, the Natural State, which comes on board around June 1st, and then there'll be the third cultivation group, Osage, out of Northwest Arkansas, around mid-June.
Okay. You know, as you are aware, there are going to be a gazillion questions. People out there are all curious about all this.
Love questions.
Okay. All right. So welcome back. We are filling in for Paul Harrell. I'm Jan Morgan, and Paul Harrell's on vacation. He'll be back next week. But this is going to be an interesting hour, one like you have never had on the Paul Harrell program, because we have the owner of one of the first medical marijuana dispensaries in the state of Arkansas, right here in Hot Springs, Dragan Vicentive.
That's right.
And welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. Now, this is just a huge deal. And I say that not lightly, because when you opened, what was it, last week for the first? Yeah. How many people came through the doors?
275, I believe.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, and I heard that there were 8,000 to 10,000 people already in the state of Arkansas that had qualified and actually been given a medical marijuana prescription. Is that pretty?
13,000.
13,000? You've got to be kidding me.
No, and those numbers are actually pretty low. The figure is that 1% of the population is the rate of people that will sign up for it. So we have about 3 million people. So it should be around 30,000, maybe a little bit better, within the first year that will sign up for the program.
Incredible. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about what you have to do to get a prescription, because I thought that medical marijuana was supposed to be for people that had cancer, who could not hold down food, to deal with nausea, people that were terminally ill. I mean, I thought this was for, really serious medical cases, but clearly it's not. If you've got that, we don't have 13,000 people.
There's a lot of sick people in Arkansas, but it's 18 symptoms are what are allowed, and I can go through them real quick.
Go through them. Yes.
Alzheimer's disease, amyotrophic lateral.
Now, can I ask you, how does marijuana help Alzheimer's?
Well, it calms your nerves, and
Okay.
And with Alzheimer's payments, if you calm the nerves, it just mellows.
You don't care about what's going on. Okay.
All right. So
Okay.
cachexia or wasting syndrome,
Okay.
cancer, Crohn's disease, chronic pain, fibromyalgia, glaucoma, hepatitis C, HIV or AIDS, multiple sclerosis or MS, peripheral neuropathy,
Okay.
PTSD, seizures, severe nausea, severe arthritis, Tourette's syndrome, and ulcerative colitis.
Okay, so that's a pretty wide variety, and you have to fit whatever your symptoms are. They have to fit one of these. Those are the only. Who came up with that list? Who approved that?
The Medical Marijuana Commission came up with this list of 18 symptoms, and
Okay.
they can add other symptoms kind of as the program goes along. But you asked earlier, how do you get a card? So the easiest way is to go to your regular physician and have him sign a certification letter that certifies that you have one of the 18 symptoms. And then it's very simple. You just take that letter, you either go online and you complete the Arkansas Department of Health application and send in the $50, and the card will come to you.
So it's $50 to get a prescription.
Yeah, it's not a prescription. It's a medical marijuana card.
A card. Okay. So it's $50 to get the card, but you do have to pay for your doctor's visit. You have to go to the doctor. Are there certain doctors that are becoming known for handing these out easier than others? In Hot Springs, for example?
And so what that amounts to is some doctors are just so busy that they haven't checked into exactly how the program works. It's a simple certification letter. You just fill out that the patient has one of these, and the doctor puts his name on the bottom of the certification letter and his DEA number, and that's it. It's just very simple. In Arkansas, they did that right, because in other states, they started out originally with the doctors doing a prescription. And so that was a lot of problem for the doctors, because the doctors used their DEA number, which is a federal number to prescribe. And so they kind of came into a gray area of, can they use their federal DEA number to prescribe something? So in this instance, in Arkansas, all the doctor has to do is certify that you have a condition. And once he certifies that, then the Arkansas Department of Health does everything else. They're the ones that kind of give you, if you want to call it a prescription to buy medical marijuana, the medical marijuana card is your prescription to buy medical marijuana.
And how long is that good for?
It's good for 1 year. Now, there's a lot of question, and a lot of people are upset because they got their cards back in February, and that we weren't, none of the facilities were open, so they kind of thought they got ripped off out of 3 months of their card. So the Arkansas Department of Health is changing that. They're going to issue cards from the day that the first one opened, from May to May 2020. So you're going to get your full year of use of the card.
Okay. So, and after that year, you have to go back and get another prescription, right?
So what you're going to have to do is go back and have the doctor recertify it. And from what I'm understanding, the recertification is going to be half the cost of what the original one was, because look, you're already certified. They're just recertifying a certification. And then I think the price is going to be the same with the Department of Health. You're going to have to pay $50 for them to send you the card.
So a lot of people, or a lot of folks, just showing up at the dispensary confused and thinking they can just get the card there, or just showing up to ask questions, or are people pretty much catching on to how this works?
Well, we have a huge presence on Facebook. It's Green Springs Medical Dispensary, and I answer a ton of questions on there. We've got over 3,000 followers, and so I think they're just kind of catching on.
Dang, that's a popular page really fast.
Yeah. And so they all know that you have to have a medical marijuana card. Some people trickle in and ask questions, and we're more than happy to answer them. We're a wealth of information. If you want to call us or look at our page and ask a question.
Yeah. So tell me, is there something different that differentiates your medical marijuana from the other marijuana that's on the streets? For example, if somebody gets that prescription and then what's to keep them from, because isn't it going to be cheaper to buy from guys on the street, or is it cheaper to buy from you?
No, it's going to be cheaper from the guys on the street, because I mean, look, it's black market, and you don't know what you're getting. You could get somebody's grass cut up in with some marijuana or whatever. But the fact about the medical marijuana is it's grown inside a facility. None of this can be grown outside. And
the THC content is
certain chemicals can only be used. Certain fertilizers can only be used. It's checked for chemicals. It's checked for fertilizers. And then whenever the product is completed, it's sent off to a third-party lab, and it's lab tested. And they test for all those chemicals, and also they test the amount of cannabinoids in it, the amount of THC level, so you know the exact strength of what you're getting every single time. And it's a quality product. So it's going to be a little bit more than what it is on the street, because you know what you're getting.
Okay. So we have to take a break for our radio stations, and we're going to do that, and then we'll be right back. Okay, so during the break, I'm going to look at some of the questions people are asking, and let's see what the folks are. Someone, Karen Lanier, wants to know how long or how often, who certifies the THC levels. I think
every batch is certified by independent lab.
Every batch. Ooh, okay. So, Timothy Yates wants you to know that he thinks you're a great guy and get off the. Okay.
Thanks, Tim.
Yeah, you know who that is. I'm not going to say. Amy Friedman says, ask him how he was able to purchase the license. Yeah. So she wants to know how only so many dispensaries were given. Was that a tough competition for you guys?
It was a very tough competition. There were over 200 applicants.
Wow.
And again, something that Arkansas did correctly was they did a merit-based application. So you had to submit an application that had just a ton of procedures and SOPs and how you ran the business from the start all the way to delivering the product. And my particular application was 786 pages by the time I got done with it.
Wow.
And,
that's a lot of work. You worked hard for that.
It was a lot of work.
Maureen Lug wants to know, how much do people pay at the dispensary? So you get your prescription. What is the average cost? Now you have different costs for different types, right?
Well, and so what we did to simplify that for people is we just did one.
There's
one
none
rate.
in here. These are empty.
Those are empty.
Okay.
There's just one rate across the board so that everybody can try products, because some people come in there and they say, hey, just give me a gram of each one. I want to see which one benefits me the most. And
really? So you can pick what you want.
Yeah, sure.
And your prescription is not regulated as far as how often it's just, once you have the prescription, you can come in and buy as much as you want to buy.
So here's how it works. You come into our dispensary. We have a team of 6 or 7 consultants.
Mm-hmm.
You walk up to them. You tell them what your symptoms are. You tell them what you want to alleviate. Do you want to wake up and be peppy in the morning? Do you want to go to sleep? And so from that, our trained consultants are able to suggest a couple strains that would most benefit you.
Okay.
So you can either go that route, or you can come in and say, hey, I'm from Colorado. I know exactly about these strains. This is what I want. And we do that also.
You have one called Gunslinger. I'm interested. What does that one do? What is that?
So that one's a 75% indica. And so indicas and sativas. Indicas, if you just want to kind of remember into bed, that kind of makes you mellow out and fall asleep.
Okay.
So that's kind of what an indica is. A sativa you take in the morning to kind of pep you up and keep you going through the day.
And cookies and Kim. Cookies and Kim. What is that one?
So it's a 65% indica. It's also kind of a one to mellow you out. But the most important part is the THC level. 18.5% on the Gunslinger in this particular lab test of the first batch that we had. And the cookies and Kim was by far the highest THC content of 30%.
So is that the one that's the most popular? I would think that aren't people looking for that?
Some people come in and say, hey, I want the strongest one that you have. And so it has a little popularity. But Mimosa actually was the one, and we don't have that on the list because we ran out of it.
Mimosa?
Yeah, it just had a flavor that everybody appreciated.
Okay. All right. Well, we've got 10 seconds to break, so we're going to take a break real quick. No, we are going to be coming back from a break. All right. So all of you in Facebook land, I'm sorry, we tried to get some of your questions out. And I'm going to save one for when we come back. So do I have time for another Facebook question from people real quickly? Okay. Yeah. Pamela Shields wants to know, she says, ask about veterans using cannabis and losing their pensions, as published in Forbes magazine by Mike Adams. Federal law supersedes state law. That's apparently what he's saying. But, if we're discussing this during the break, I'm going to hold that one for when we get back on the radio, because that's I think there'll be a lot of people. What about Parkinson's disease? Okay. So we're back on, and we are talking with Dragan Vicentive, and he is the owner of one of the medical marijuana dispensaries in the state of Arkansas, here in Hot Springs, as a matter of fact. And we've been trying to get people educated. One of the interesting questions from the people in the Facebook thread, because we are also, for those of you who are out in Radio Land listening to us, we are also broadcasting nationally and internationally on Facebook. Pamela Boyd Shields wants to know about veterans using cannabis. She says that will they lose their pensions? Because that is what was published in Forbes magazine by Mike Adams, that federal law supersedes state law, and the feds say you can't do this. So are you hearing anything about that?
About 6 months ago, I heard that same question, and I was kind of surprised by it. So I did call the Arkansas Department of Health and kind of pick their brain about it. And so what the answer that I received was that the database that the Arkansas Department of Health has does not link to anybody else, because there are HIPAA laws involved, because these are actually patients that are buying medicine. So that information that you're a medical marijuana card holder in Arkansas is not shared with anybody.
But even though the information isn't shared, I mean, there are a lot of veterans who are addicted to hydrocodone, OxyContin, because when the vets came home and they were in pain, that seemed to be the VA's answer to, rather than treating the problem, they treat the symptoms. It was easier just to medicate these guys. And then a lot of these guys got addicted. And those who are wanting to get off of those, the hydros and that sort of thing are wanting medical marijuana. But I was told, because I have a friend who's a veteran, that he was told if he tests, that they may actually forget the database, if they drug test you, and if you have marijuana in your system, that you lose your other meds. And he says he needs both. He needs, he's in a wheelchair. He's in really bad shape. And the codeine, the hydrocodone, does not get him through the day. And so the medical marijuana would help him halfway, but he said he has to choose one or the other.
So here's our philosophy. We want everybody to get off of those toxic opioids. And so by doing that, we want you to substitute the medical marijuana for the opioids. And I'm not saying go to cold turkey and stop them, because that's a shock to your system. So the way to do that is on a 1 month basis. If, let's say, you're taking 4 hydrocodone, cut off on that last one, don't take it, take 3, and then substitute that with a medication of medical marijuana. See how that makes you feel. See how the cannabis affects you. And then do that for about a week. Then the following week, cut down to 2 hydrocodones and take two medications of medical marijuana. And so hopefully within a month, you can be done with those toxic opioids, and you don't have to worry about the federal government, because you're off of that garbage and you're on a natural product that can heal you.
Also, on the medical marijuana front, the prescription doesn't give you a dosage like, drugs give you a dosage. You can take one of these in the morning and one in the afternoon, but how do you keep people from overdosing on the marijuana? Because there's
you can't overdose. That's the beauty of it being a natural product. Nobody has ever overdosed on.
But I thought they were having overdose issues in Colorado.
Absolutely not.
But it was because of the food. They've got it in the foods. They've got the brownies and all kinds of other things, edibles, where they OD.
If you take too much medical marijuana, you're just going to fall asleep.
Okay. All right. Interesting. Okay. So now, once people get this prescription, and you also said that they're coming into your dispensary with these flimsy little cards, and that that's what the state's giving them, and it's not going to hold up, and then they have to pay for another one. But you have a solution,
absolutely,
and you got it approved. Tell people out there about this.
What we're doing when they come into Green Springs, just the quick fix for it is we take a piece of Scotch tape and we put it over the first 3 lines, and so that'll save those lines that we can read, that we have to read in order to be able to put you into the system to add whichever strains of medical marijuana you decide that you want. You can laminate your cards. Originally, the Department of Health came out and said, do not laminate them. They can't be read. They can't be scanned. That's not true. I personally emailed the head of the Department of Health, and she said that there's no longer a prohibition against laminating them, that they understand that they're flimsy and that the numbers scratch off, and that would be a huge issue. And of course, you don't want to pay extra money to have to get another card. Save that money for something else. Just laminate it or put a piece of tape over it, or when you come by, we'll do it for you. And that way you can use your card for the full year, hopefully.
Okay. So I may have missed this. You may have already covered this, but I'm going to hit it again. What does it cost? What are people paying in the dispensaries? And will they find that the prices are different from dispensary to dispensary? Are you guys competing against each other?
Well, originally we did. The other place came out with a price that was 25% higher than what we had been talking about for a whole month on our Facebook page, and our price is $15 a gram. They came out with a $20 per gram price, and I was just taken back because that's a ridiculous price. But it didn't take them, I think, one day, and probably a lot of the people that have been on our page to clue them in that we're selling it for 15 a gram. So they actually met our price, which is good, because that quickly made it cheaper. I mean, immediately made it 25% cheaper to patients that are going over there.
So what are some of the complications that you guys have run into as a result of this being new? I mean, we're not reinventing the wheel in Arkansas. This has already happened in a number of other states. But how much have you relied on other states and the way they handle things to try to make this work smoothly?
So the largest complication is the software, and the issues with it and the glitches. And the people at BioTrack are really good at repairing them, but sometimes it does take a little bit of time. So what that means is the state of Arkansas follows every single one of our sales and the amount of product that every single person purchases. They do it in real time, and so that system is implemented into every dispensary. So when you come in, you can purchase 2.5 ounces every 2 weeks, which is a total of 5 ounces per month. And a lot of you just had an eye-opening experience. You can't smoke 5 ounces a month. The reason the state set it at that high of an amount is because you have people such as cancer patients, which are in a lot of pain. If they're in a lot of pain, they're going to medicate a lot more. So that 5 ounces is meant for those cancer patients that need that medicine more frequently.
Okay. So I've got the floor director here trying to give me a note here. Where do you deposit the money that's made? Do you have to deposit it to who? To AT? What to deposit? ATF? No. Why would somebody ask that? Well, I know. Because it's not tobacco. Okay.
That's kind of a security question. I can't really go into that, but we're a cash business, so we pay our employees in cash. We pay for our
it's just like any other business.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and what is the tax on this? How much of what you all make goes to the state?
Okay. So 13.5% is the total tax. The state gets its original 6.5% sales tax. The city gets 1.5% sales tax. The county gets 1.5, and then the city gets another 4% privilege tax. Now, that privilege tax is to run the Medical Marijuana Commission and the ABC, so that they need that 4% to pay all the employees that do the enforcement and clerical.
Okay. What about the age? Is there an age limit?
No, there's no age limit. If a child has seizures, the parent is the caregiver, but as long as you meet the symptom, you can get it at any age. I would hope that children and people that have office jobs would get products with a lower THC, so that the psychoactive wouldn't affect them as much, because you still get the medicinal qualities of it, whether the THC is high or low.
Okay. Will it be dispensed in prison since it is a prescription? That's what somebody wanted to know in Facebook land. I guess there are prisoners in jail that have medical needs and they get other kinds of prescriptions. So will you all be doing that? Probably somebody in jail is on Facebook and they sent that. I wanted to know that question.
I guess if you got money on your books and you can pay for it, and one of the dispensaries decides they're going to deliver to a prison, then I could see how that would work.
I wonder if anybody's even honestly, have you thought about that?
Absolutely not.
So you're leaving here with this is going to be a business thing. Somebody, if your competition's watching there, we need to get into the prisons right now. That could mellowing the guys out might actually be beneficial. It's cut down on the potential for riots. So I see a whole new line of business. There are a lot of people in jail in this state. So I know what you're going to do when you leave here today. Okay. So and then I don't know how that's an interesting question. People are out there watching and they're coming up with some great stuff. So what else do we need to know that I haven't asked you that people ask you when they call the dispensary?
So I brought the top 10 list of questions when I answer the phone.
All right.
So the hours, we're open from 10 until 8, Monday through Saturday. We're closed on Sunday. That's the only day we're closed.
It's called Green Springs, by the way. Okay.
Green Springs Medical. And when will vape oil and edibles be available? That's the largest question. And so the reason we only have dry herb right now is because the cultivator is trying to get to the product to market as quickly as possible. And the dry herb form is the quickest to get there. Vape oil takes further processing, edibles take further processing, so they're just trying to get it there as quick as possible. The answer to it is the vape oil will be available in about a week, and the edibles possibly in 2 to 3 weeks. And then the other question is the lines. So originally we did have lines. The first day it took about 3 hours to get through the whole line. But like I said, we're a high volume dispensary. We have 6 or 7 consultants that help at any single time. So we're pushing 6-7 people through. And so the lines are a little busy in the mornings when we first open at 10 till about 11 30 or 12. But after 12 o'clock, you can pretty much just kind of walk up and walk in, because we can handle 6 or 7 people at a time. The next question that's most often asked is, can they laminate? And I think we covered that. They can laminate the ID cards to preserve.
Do you have a drive-through window? I bet there are people that would prefer to drive through.
that would probably help a lot. Yeah.
Some of I bet there's some Baptists out there that prefer to drive through.
Liquor store and weed to drive-throughs.
That's right. Sorry. No, hey, I'm Baptist, so just, I'm laughing at myself here. So, okay, go ahead. What are some of the other most common questions that people are asking? Let's get those answered so that, your phone will slow down a little bit.
Will insurance cover the medical marijuana? And for the most part, the insurance companies are all about money. We all know that. So their answer is going to be no, because it's not legal federally. When that's changed federally from a substance 1, then they're going to have to start covering it, because look, they pay for your hydrocodones, they pay for everything else. There's no reason why,
which are highly addictive,
which they shouldn't. There's no reason why they shouldn't pay for this product, and it's natural. So they're going to have to. I think there may be a couple insurance companies out there. So call your insurance company and see what their position on it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
What else?
That's really the top questions. There's different ways to set up your dispensary. So the one down the street, everything they have is prepackaged. You walk in, you don't see anything. You just order off of their menu, and then when you get out to the car, you can open your package and see what you received. And from what our patients are telling us is that you get a lot of seeds in there. You get a lot of stuff you don't want, can't use. And so the beauty of the way that we're set up is it's kind of a deli style. You walk in, we got glass cases, everything's lit up. I mean, we got smiling faces there to help you and talk to you about your symptoms. And then all of our strains are in mason jars. And so you see the product right there in front of you. We unscrew the lid. You can smell it.
See what you get.
You can actually say, oh my goodness, that one bud right there.
That's a Green Springs medical dispensary. Yes.
That's the one that I want. And we'll give you that one. We'll give you exactly what you want. And so that's the beauty of it, because you see what you're getting right
You get to pick it.
Absolutely.
Okay. I would imagine that's a big selling point. So how did you think of that? Did you actually go to another state and look at how they're doing it and study this before you?
We did. Absolutely. I mean, this isn't something that came about overnight. A lot of thought went into the design of our dispensary. The flow pattern works very well. You walk in, you speak to the intake clerk, you go into the dispensary, you go out a different door. So it's not something you just kind of come up overnight and say, hey, we're going to open the doors and see how this works.
Right. Do you fear that this could be the pathway to the door opening of legalization of marijuana in this state?
It will.
How will that affect what you do?
The standard is that once you go medical marijuana, that you within 2 to 3 years go recreational, and that's fine with us. The one thing that I heard about 6 months ago that I was kind of appalled at was that the statistic was that 9.5% of people actually go to a medical marijuana facility for medicine, and the other 91% people get high. And when I heard that, I said, oh man, that's not good, because I want to help people. And so the one thing that I've noticed in the 7 or 8 days that we've been open is the people that are coming in, they need it for medicinal purposes. I mean, they're coming in on crutches, they're coming in on wheelchairs, they're hobbling in. I hate to use that word, but you can see in their eyes that they need this medicine. Okay. And so it's 91% that need it, and maybe flipped over.
Well, we're gonna have to take a quick break. When we come back, we're gonna visit with Dragan a little more. I'm not gonna let him go because we still have a lot of questions. So stay with us. Okay, so we're in a radio break. I was going to look and see if there's some more questions. 2.5 minutes for the break.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can talk about out of state. We can talk about out of state cards. We can talk about the stigma of marijuana.
Limit of legal liability for the user, i.e., cause of car wreck. While high.
You shouldn't medicate it while you're driving.
Yeah, well, I'm wondering, can you do that even? You're not supposed to drink and drive. So I'm wondering if you can.
It's the same thing. You've got to use common sense.
Yeah, it's interesting. Okay. Steve Huff in Arizona says, hello, Steve. How are you doing? I don't know if you guys have medical marijuana, and that's
Arizona. They do.
They do have it in Arizona. Okay. So I'm going to scroll down here. Let's see if there's something else. Folks, I appreciate you watching out there in Facebook land, and you're very popular today. You've got a lot of people online right now. What other states are doing this?
There are 33 states.
33 states now. Wow,
That's a
I
majority.
missed a few. Right. So that's moving fast and furious.
They want you to run again.
I know everybody. Thank you. I do well. That's 3 years away. Responsibility. People want a job that is okay. Shelley Finley Crafts says, I hate to ask a dumb question, but how do I watch from the beginning? Okay. Shelley, once this program is over with today, you can go back to my Facebook page or Conduit news page, and it will be there in full for you. Probably the Conduit news page will have the music bed and everything on it. Mine we're split up because it's kind of a technical nightmare, but anyway, it's working out great. And just look at my page. I will post this and repost this as soon as this is over with. You'll always be able to find it on my pages. Let's see. They're talking about sanctuary cities. So I'm looking at there's still what has been the public reaction to you? I mean, you know a lot of folks, and I actually have seen some stuff on your Facebook page. You're kind of a conservative sort of guy, kind of. And politically. And so are Republicans giving you flack over this? Or are you seeing as many Republicans as you see Democrats in this?
Absolutely. I mean, across the board, people are loving this product. A couple.
Okay, so we are back on. Thanks for joining us. Jan Morgan filling in for Paul Harrell. And we've got the most amazing guest with us. Interesting guest, so to speak. Definitely. Dragan Vicentive. He is the owner of Green Springs medical marijuana dispensary in Hot Springs, Arkansas. And he's been filling our ears about how this whole thing works and the kinks that had to be worked out and what their facility is like. Their Facebook page is called Green Springs Medical, right?
Dispensary. Mm-hmm.
Medical Dispensary. A lot of folks follow them there, and you have an interesting interesting approach to the way you've set up your facility. And so I hope people will at least check out your page and see what that's about. People are wanting to know about the liability for the user. If you're in a car wreck, for example, well, people drive their cars when they're on hydrocodone that they're taking for pain. So what is the difference if you're taking medical marijuana and you have an accident? Do you expect that's going to be treated differently?
No, not at all. I mean, it's just common sense. You're not going to drink and drive. You're not going to take a lot of hydrocodones and drive. Mm-hmm. So it's the same way with medical marijuana. You shouldn't medicate and drive. Mm-hmm. It just has to be common sense. You can't do any of the others and drive. So be careful out there.
Well, I do know a lot of people that are on certain types of drugs like hydrocodone and OxyContin, that sort of thing for pain. They do still drive. I mean, it's the only way they can function. The Marine that I've talked to, and I'm telling you, there are a lot of folks really concerned about their gun rights. What are you hearing on that front? Because, and I know you're hearing that question at the dispensary because people don't want to lose their guns.
So the attorney that drafted the bill that was originally voted on, his comment to it is that you can still have a gun, you can still buy a gun, you can still sell a gun. You can only do that though through other people that aren't licensed firearm dealers. Mm-hmm. So you can transact that business and still be okay. But you just can't go to a federal firearms license dealer and fill out a federal form because on there it asks, do you use medical marijuana? Mm-hmm. And if you check that box, then guess what? They're not going to sell it to you.
They are not going to sell it to you, right? And just so you know, we have got. I talk with state police. I'm an actual Arkansas concealed handgun license instructor. Yeah. So the thing is, they've already changed the paperwork, and I'm going to talk about the whole gun thing in the next segment. So be sure to stay tuned for that because I know a lot of people are concerned about that, and we're going to tell you what we know, which is not a whole lot, but I think we'll be able to share a little bit more with you. Anything else you would like to say that maybe I didn't ask, or that maybe you've seen in these threads with people commenting?
Some people are wanting to know how to certify, and I think we covered that in the first part of the segment. But tomorrow night, there's a clinic at Ascension Wellness Clinic on Section Line Road. It's 295 Section Line Road, and it's at 5:30. And if you bring your medical records with you or your medical history, there's a discount. It's only $125 to have one of those physicians certify your condition so that you can send it to the Arkansas Department of Health and get approved.
Oh, so y'all are making a whole lot. Okay, see, no.
You didn't know that.
No, so you don't have to go to your personal physician. You can just find out where one of these big meetings is, and you can go to meeting, and they're going to have this big group of doctors, and you're going to take your symptoms, and you can get your prescription right there. Who would have?
How easy.
Making it easy. Once again, now, is that happening around the state, or is that just something you all kind of cooked up for this area?
So we've done a lot of it just because we've been proactive in helping patients in our area.
Mm-hmm.
There is another group. It's called A Medicinal Purpose. A Medicinal Purpose, and that's on Facebook, and they have seminars in Benton all the time. So look them up on Facebook and look at their next meeting area where you can do the same thing there.
Okay. So once again, for people listening, we just got a couple of minutes here. For people listening, in case you didn't catch that, because people are going, how do you get a prescription? What symptoms do you have to have? What illnesses? You have on your Facebook page, Green Springs Facebook page, have a list of the specific illnesses that you have to have in order to get qualified. Now, he is talking about if you can't get to your doctor, or say your doctor doesn't want to write you a prescription for it, he says that there's going to be this event, a clinic, so to speak, and you can go there and you take your list of symptoms and your medical records. You have to have medical records, right? Showing that you've had treatment for these symptoms and that sort of thing. And what else do those records have to show? What else will people need with them in order to get a prescription?
You need your driver's license, and you need your medical records so that they show that you have one of the 18 symptoms that you've been diagnosed with it. And so if the physician there on staff can ascertain that, yes, you do have PTSD, or you do have seizures, or you do have cancer, it's just a quick form that they fill out and you're ready to go.
Wow. Okay. And once again, give people the date, the time, and the address that's going to take place.
That's Ascension Wellness Clinic. It's at 295 Section Line Road. It's tomorrow night. It starts at 5:30. You can also go to a compassionate care clinic on Marion Anderson Road. That's also in Hot Springs, and you can call them for an appointment anytime.
Okay. All right. Well, we are wrapping up. Once again, we have been talking with Dragan Vicentive, and he is the owner of Green Springs, a medical marijuana dispensary. And you can where can people find your page, your website, to find out more and get these questions answered in case they missed our show today?
The most amount of information, and we post on there daily, is our Facebook page, Green Springs Medical Dispensary. There's a ton of information on there, rules, other people post and comment. We answer their questions. You can private message me. It's just a portal to be able to answer any questions that you have. We do have a webpage. It's greenspringsmedical.com. We're adding to it daily to get it up and going.
Okay. We're out of time.
Okay.
We got to run. Quick break. We'll be right back. Sorry, he was giving me a 10-second wrap. So
right.
Good. Now we've got, I think we pretty much covered everything. Yeah.
So we did a good job.
Yes. I really, this is going to be a long drawn out deal. I wish,
that's the federal law, but look, the feds are not going to pull you over in Hot Springs, Arkansas.
Right. Well, yeah. And that's what, right. Are they going to come to your house and do gun confiscations?
They're not going to do that.
But this will be a part of your medical record, right? So, and your medical records are supposed to be private.
Well, and that's what I said earlier on. The Department of Health doesn't share the database with anybody else, so it's not part of your medical record.
Oh, it's not.
Mm-mm.
It's still. Okay.
It doesn't go.
I'll
on
mention that Department of Health. It's is only place it is, so it does not go on your.
Unless you're, let's say you're on Social Security. Unless you tell them that you have a medical marijuana card, they don't know that.
Well, so if state police come to you guys and say, we want the list. Are y'all going to provide them with the list?
No, we can't.
No. Okay.
It's a HIPAA violation.
Okay. All right. Well, then we'll tell people that after the break. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Thank you so much. So great meeting you.
Anytime you want me on here, call me.
I will. I'll do that.